This is going to be Drak'Tharon Keep as a Blood Death Knight. Kinda staggering things, I know. There's a method to the madness. We'll get everybody all synced up eventually. Right, Phony here was somebody I had not played in a while at the point that this was recorded. I'd sort of set her down to get everybody caught up to where she was. So I'm going to be just a little bit clumsy here, just because I hadn't been a Death Knight in a while. But we get it done just fine. What kind of healer is this? Volpera, so only could be Priest or Shaman, I believe. Or Mistweaver, that's possible. This can't be Druid or Paladin. I see Renewing Mist. It is a Mistweaver. Neat. Okay. Oh right, Ornate Weapon. Grizzly Trophies. Okay, the Dark Moon Fair stuff happening. Don't worry about it. Oh man, I hit my Dancing Rune Weapon button. Why is Bag of Tricks on 9? I was aiming for Bag of Tricks. That's where I always expect it. It's always on 8. But I hit Dancing Rune Weapon instead. Yeah, so that kind of clumsiness. Buttons not being where I expect. I need to swap those two on my action bar. I probably am going to in just a minute here. I'm surprised I haven't done it already. How has this Balance Druid taken so much damage? I don't know. They found a way. Warrior found a way too. I had Threat that whole time, but I guess they have something that hits other people. So yeah, Blood Death Knight's toolkit doesn't really change a whole lot past level like 64 or so, so what I have now is pretty much what I get. Mastery will come in at some point and do stuff, I guess. It's not another ability though, it's just a change in stat balancing and stuff. I probably don't have Raise Ally at this point, and that's occasionally relevant. That's a Battle Resurrection that I get. Every time I have a Mistweaver as my healer, I don't worry about anything. I always just feel super confident with one of those because I know best how they work, and I don't know, I just feel like they're kind of good at everything in a dungeon like this. Probably my overall favorite healer type. Discipline Priests can be more fun to play in some situations. This is a surprisingly dicey room that catches people off guard a lot. I should be facing that Wretched Belcher away from everyone else, because he does a frontal spew attack. There it was, I think. It's fine, not a huge deal, but yeah, so I see, when I was running everybody, all my characters at once through this dungeon, I saw so many people just run into this room all gung-ho, like, hey, I can pull the whole room, it'll be fine. And then everybody dies. It happened a lot. So Wretched Belcher on its own is not nothing. And each of these, right, there are two in here, each of these ghoul groups are, you know, not nothing. So it's best to do this with some caution. Yeah, so I feel like I've just never had a problem with a Mistweaver as my healer. Like, every time I've had one of those, I've just felt very safe, and everything's been great. Every other healer type has their weaknesses. I mean, Mistweaver's only real weakness that I've seen is running out of mana. And that's only a problem in a place like Halls of Reflection. Yeah, pretty much just Halls of Reflection. There are probably other places where it would be, but any really long, sustained combats with no healing breaks is where a Mistweaver will not excel. But everywhere else, they're great at everything. Discipline Priest takes a lot of effort to play well, and with a Discipline Priest, I just kind of expect to see health bars sitting around half or so. You know, don't expect to be topped off when one of those is in the party. Holy Priest is pretty good at what they do, honestly. That's probably like second safest feeling healer after Mistweaver. Shaman's throughput is decent, but not as good as those other two. Druid has a lot of problems with if they ever need to, like, deal with heavy damage. What's the other one? I'm missing one. Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin has a lot of problems with everything. Throughput and casting speed and responding to party-wide damage. Trollgore says, so hungry must feed, and summons extra dudes that I think he kills and eats if you give him a chance. But you don't have to give him a chance. This dungeon's available on Time Walking. I think? Is that right? Shoot, what are the Lich King Time Walking dungeons? Hey, somebody used Ring of Peace. That's a fantastic use of that ability. Look at that. This monk knows how to do that. Prevent the spider from going to their den and hiding away and summoning extra spiders. I was planning on using Death Grip, but the monk had a better plan. Although now his Ring of Peace is used. With that blindfold on, is that male or female Vipera? I think that's female, actually. Anyway, with her Ring of Peace used, we're gonna have to do something different. My Death Grip was used, so one of these gets to go to its den. It's fine, not a big deal. A minor annoyance at most. But yeah, so that's a way to use Ring of Peace. Just Zone of Exclusion, no enemy can enter. Doesn't last all that long, but it lasts long enough for that. Oh, Novos the Summoner, this encounter is going to be a mess. I never figured out how to tank this properly. What I do here is not the right way. Let's watch closely and see if we can figure out where I go wrong. So dudes come down the stairway non-stop here. If not dealt with, they will stack up and start causing problems. I mean, they're the only thing to do right now. But as soon as he calls for assistance... Crystal Handler comes in here. Okay, so who's taking damage? I'm going to watch health bars. Healer's taking some damage. I do see a yellow bar following after a Shadow Priest. Anyway, killing the Crystal Handlers is how the combat moves forwards. My problem here is I'm focusing too much on them and not enough on the things that are coming down the stairway, and everybody's taking a lot of damage because of it, I think? Because yeah, I didn't feel too great about the way this encounter had gone. I think a good strategy would be for everyone to stand on the opposite side of Novos from where we are standing. So instead of standing on the east, stand on the west. So that everybody would have to run through Novos and where the Crystal Handlers are going to get to us. So why didn't I just stand there? Yeah, so what's happening to this Mistweaver now? Using Ring of Peace on herself to keep safe from that. But health is pretty low, everybody's is. What is going on here? How did everyone take so much damage? Was this something I did, or was it something else going on? Maybe they were all like super aggressive at attacking everybody coming down the stairway too quick, and then got all their attention right away or something? Also, doesn't this, like, flow of trash stop at some point during this encounter, or does it go on the entire time you're fighting Novos? It hasn't stopped yet, so I guess it just continues forever. So it did look like I was at least making an effort to keep up with them. So now I'm less sure that this was specifically my problem, why this was so dicey. Like, we get it done, nobody dies, but there was some definite healer pressure, more than I was expecting. Man, it's just so hard to tell, like, what exactly went wrong in a situation like that. I mean, again, nothing went wrong. It's just more healer pressure than I was expecting. That was Blood Boil when I wanted Death and Decay. Whoops. So I wasted that far away from everybody. Still relearning where Death Knight buttons are. Oh right, yeah, and don't forget to stain the cloth on Novos' remains. Pretty much every group has at least one person who does. And right around this point I see some dot on the minimap run back to Novos' chamber. and take care of it. Let's see if it happens here. I see an orange dot. Druid's lingering behind. But it looks more like they just stepped away for a moment or something. Okay, yeah, just stepped away for a moment and came back. Alright. I guess everybody who was going to do it has done it now. Yeah, almost all the time. It's a real easy thing to forget, because, like, most dungeon quests are just like, kill this thing you're already going to kill by doing the dungeon. When there's one that requires a little bit more attention to what the quest text said, and, you know, an extra action that's not just automatically done by doing the dungeon, it's a little easier to miss. Alright, what's this dude's name? King Dread. Big raptor here. Patrols in and out of his little raptor pen place. Just gotta keep it clear enough that when he uses his unavoidable fear effect, we're not gonna get too many extra raptors in the fight with him. He's way in the back there, so I'm probably gonna, like, fight another on the way to him? Maybe two? Yeah, let's get these two. Alright, and with those dead, it should be no problem. When he raises his talons menacingly, is that an enrage, or is he warning about a cleave attack? Let's watch. So Bellowing Roar, that's the fear. Raises talons menacingly. Piercing slash, mangling slash, grievous bite. So that's the lead up to him just using a bunch of hard-hitting attacks. Got it. Oh, I have a Grievous Bite. It went away. Right. Yeah, that's right. When I was healing this dungeon on one character, somebody had gotten a Grievous Bite, and it stayed for a while. That particular effect doesn't go away. Deals continuous damage until healed to full. It's probably my Discipline Priest, because Discipline Priests have trouble healing to full a little bit. Oh, I leveled up and it got rid of the Grievous Bite. Oh, that's funny. That was the way that went away there. Alright, and I leveled up and got Control Undead. Yeah, okay. A button I have not yet found a reason to press. You can do it, but I haven't found a reason yet. And yeah. As the game likes to do, it's forcibly added it to my action bar, and when there wasn't room, it added another action bar that I didn't want there. I've gotten used to this dance. I know exactly where to go in the settings to get rid of the thing that I didn't ask it for, that it gave me anyway. How do these have so much threat on someone who's not me? Shadow Priest, I guess, was hitting them really hard with Mindseer or something. Okay. It is a Shadow Priest. They do generate a weird amount of threats. Enduring Mojo. Oh, right, yeah. So that's a thing you actually do have to collect for cleansing Drak'Tharon. Drak'Tharon wants you to use Drak'Tharon's Elixir at his brazier inside Drak'Tharon. Using Drak'Tharon's Elixir will require 5 Enduring Mojo. This is something I didn't realize for a long time until I got there without having picked up 5 Enduring Mojo, and couldn't actually complete that quest. It's just up to the random number generator whether you get enough here, and you know, you need to be sure to loot these dudes. But yeah, you can totally end up with less than 5, and not be able to summon Drak'Tharon. And then not have to sit there for 5 minutes while he talks to the Lich King. Oh no, how terrible. But then that quest stays in your log, and that's annoying, and you don't get the rewards and stuff. Let's see if that's one that comes with equipment rewards. Because I have noticed that the pattern has been much more that when I get upgrades in dungeons, it's because of a dungeon quest that awards equipment, because those are always suited for... So those are guaranteed rewards if you complete the quest, and they're always suited for your class and specialization. Boss drops, on the other hand, think with personal loot you do always get something you can use, but it's not always entirely suitable. Like, you know, if I'm a protection paladin, I might get something for a retribution, for example, like a two-handed weapon or something. Quest rewards, if that were the case, would give you a choice. So if I were running as protection and I wanted a two-handed weapon, I could choose that. I tried to snipe that mind freeze, but I was silenced, so I couldn't... Or snipe the fear with a mind freeze, but I was silenced, so I couldn't do it. That one I got. Or does silence disable my mind freeze? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, another dicey spot where fear can cause more things to be in combat than you want. Those use a lot of fear. So you should definitely expect to interrupt or dispel a lot of those, or just fight them in a place where it's not a problem. One person doesn't have enough interrupts to deal with it on their own, though. Yeah, look how much they use that. Death Grip can be sort of a poor man's interrupt. Since you move a thing that has to hold still to cast, it's not a hard interrupt. They can just go right back to casting that thing instantly as soon as they're done being gripped, but it does stop the current cast at least. Where a hard interrupt will lock out that school of magic for a few seconds. Alright, so let's see Tharanja's alternate form as a tank, because I do get a taunt ability. I don't think it's any different from being any other role other than just I have a taunt button and I guess I can press it. I think in undead mode here everybody's stats are the same and everything, probably. I don't know, I've never checked that. Next time I run this dungeon, when will that be? When Jarzak and Tikkun catch up, that'll be. Yeah, there we go. Found my taunt button. Other people have too. People are just mashing their buttons at random. They have a taunt on 2. Oh yeah, everybody is just taunting, because they're just pressing buttons at random. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, again, next time I run this dungeon, I'm going to check health bars and see if they're all equalized to the same value in undead mode. Why did it look like he used a Shadow Priest's Dispersion for a moment there? That was like... super flashy effect, huh? Okay. Alright, so now I can use Drakuru's Elixir and see an excessively long scene here where he talks to the dude. I had various ways to play around during this, so let's see what I do here. I found a spot. It's right there. Or if I go to sleep right here, I'll end up right between the Lich King's legs. I don't know. I guess I find that funny. Oh man, but this just takes way too long. We've seen this already, so let's just skip it. Okay, so it's actually only 2.5 minutes, but it feels like it's twice as long. So just for fun, let's take the back way out of here. If you don't want to teleport out, you can go this weird way down this watery passage here. I could probably annoy people with Path of Frost there and make them land real hard in that water instead of have a soft landing in it. So I decided to turn it off. Fall of Return. So 3 little water drops. Druid's asking for a teleport. So 1, we don't have a warlock, and they're the only ones who can do that. And 2, you can just teleport back to the dungeon with the thing in your minimap. That was a weird little room. That I guess that was the way out of it. Right, so again, this is what is on the left part of that fork. Guess the druid figured it out or gave up or something. I do eventually, yeah, so Death's Advance, not a great movement speed increase, 30% more for 8 seconds. I do eventually get another one, level 75 talent, that makes that a little better. It's also not great. So yeah, Death Knight struggles a little with mobility. Monk and Warrior really shine there, but Death Knight does not. Okay, so that one rewarded equipment. I forgot to look if Drak'Tharon did. Doesn't really matter. Alright, cool. Well, that's Drak'Tharon Keep. See you next time!